Marco, a bunch of other people. So just
I
I'll
texted them a few minutes ago, and
are they not taking it? Is no one?
they're not taking it. They're like, "Oh, we're done. Good luck. Rest in peace."
Oh man,
oh
they
my
are they
God.
gonna try to take it in the fall?
Yeah, and then same thing with Raha. Raha didn't.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if she was in it. Yeah,
she was gonna take it. I haven't heard from her. I hope she's still kicking.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
man, I don't blame them for not wanting to take something over the summer. I mean, this is like not the optimal way, but being able to take Calc 2 with him versus like struggling to get. I mean, I don't know if he's going to teach in the fall. I don't know how many. You're a math major, right?
Yeah.
You probably have a lot more math left.
I have on this class. I have Calc 3, Physics 1. I mean, I don't know if I have to take pre-physics. I don't know if that's a thing.
I'm hoping this is my last math. Like just because like computer science, they wanted like a ton of math, so I'm hoping.
So for you, I think you have to take just this class, Chem 1, Chem 2.
We have to take Chem 1 and 2.
Wait, Bob is back.
Science? I don't think so. I don't think it can.
How long was I gone?
You were gone for like a while. You ended at 3 was what you had written, the last thing. Probably like 5-10 minutes.
Not that long, really?
Minutes. Probably 5 minutes.
Wow. Even with this new iPad Pro.
I think it's just the Zoom. Like, it's just weird in general.
Yeah.
Could also be your internet or something if you had like this.
Oh yeah, we've got shitty internet.
Yeah, so like we are
I'm right next.
lines
I'm right
up. Yeah, we're that 3 sine x cosine squared x. Yeah, right there. That's like not there, below two lines down.
Here,
yeah,
right
here.
here.
Yeah, we just started that.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so all I did is just multiplied all that crap out. So you just missed 2 lines.
Okay.
Okay, so I multiplied all that garbage out. Let me turn this around so I can write again. And now we just, do our thing. Okay. So let me see. Let me not do the U-substitutions just yet. Let me make sure. This one is set up to be done. Okay, now this one, we're going to write 1 minus cosine squared x, cosine squared x, sine x dx. And then this one, we're going to write as sine to the 4th, which is sine squared squared. So that's 1 minus cosine squared x squared times the sine x dx. Okay, now I think we're ready to strike. Okay, so for this one here, the u is going to be cosine x, and so the du is going to be negative sine x dx. For this guy here, the u is going to be the cosine of x, and the du is going to be negative sine of x. I could have done this all in one big thing. Well, anyway. And again, the u is the cosine of x, and so the du is negative sine x dx. Okay.
Hey, Bobby, real quick, are you saying that this number 2 option is the exact same as, like, we'll get the exact same answer as that much simpler number 1 option with only 2 lines?
What I'm saying is this is what's the reality. Like,
God.
by the time we're done, if you've been doing what I've been asking you to do and just integrate, okay, all of these steps that I'm doing right here,
yeah,
they're just annoying steps, but they're doable things, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's very realistic that you're going to remember these identities right here.
Maybe. I mean, it's only 3. That doesn't seem impossible.
Okay, 2 years from now. That's what I'm talking about. It's when you're working or when you're doing your senior engineering project and you end up having to do this integral,
Yeah.
And you, for some reason, you have to do it by hand, you know, or whatever. So chances of us remembering this, and not so much. Okay. But this is all this busy work getting us to where we're going. All right. So let's kind of wrap this fella up. So this is going to be -3 integral of u to the 4th du minus 4 times the integral of 1 minus u squared du plus the integral 1 minus u squared du. There needs to be a minus in front of that one. And this one turns into a positive. I almost lost those negatives, but I didn't. Okay, so this is -3 u to the 5 over 5 plus 4. Okay, now this is going to be u squared, which is going to be u cubed over 3. That's the u to the 4th, which is u5 over 5. And then minus the integral of 1 minus 2u squared plus u to the 4th du. Okay, so that's going to be -3. What was u? Cosine? Cosine 5th x over 5 plus 4/3 cosine cubed x and minus 4 over 5 cosine 5 over 5. And then this is going to be minus u, which was cosine x, plus, then it's going to be 2 cosine cubed x over 3 minus the cosine to the 5th x over 5 plus constant c. And then from here, there's a bunch of like terms that we can combine. Okay. Now this is in reality, how most people are going to do this. You know, you're not always going to be hanging around a college math professor. You know, you're going to be with your buddies and your lab partners and stuff like that. And I'm sure that there's some of us in the faculty that are nerdy enough to remember these identities right here, you know, but I'm not one of them. You know, I have to, and I don't even trust them. I would probably have to derive them before I did anything else.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
Can you scroll up a little bit so I can take a picture of the problem we just did?
Tell me when to stop scrolling.
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
There. And then you want to scroll down?
Yeah, scroll down.
Scroll down.
Stop.
Okay. And then scroll down.
Yeah.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
There we
Okay,
go.
that's good. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so like this one and this one looks like it's going to be -4 over 5 cosine 5x. Oh, and then there's this one. So that's -8 over 5. No, shit, that's wrong. Hold on, time out. The cosine to the 5th x, I've got -3 over 5 minus 4 over 25 minus 1 over 5 cosine 5th x. And then I've got 4/3 plus 2/3 gives me 6/3, which is going to be 2 cosine cubed x, and then minus the cosine x plus the constant c.
Professor,
Yep.
real quick question.
Mhm.
Why, So I noticed when you have like the 4u cubed over 3, you just have 4 over 3 cosine cubed x. But when you go to the minus 4u to the 5th over 5, you somehow, I don't understand why you break it up and make it 4/5 times cosine 5ths x over 5. So I don't know
Oh,
why.
wait, did I throw in an additional 5?
Yeah, so it'd be minus 3/5 minus 4/5 minus
So
1.
it's that one, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So there's just I think you froze, but yes, yeah, there you go. That one's, yep, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so how many is this? Let's see, 3, that's -8 fifths.
Yeah.
Plus 2 cosine cubed x, cosine x plus a constant c. Okay, now tonight, it really would be good for you to redo this. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere and I lost a negative and none of us caught it. Because there isn't any obvious like place to look for an error, I very easily could have lost a negative. Just I had a 5 right there, you know. All right. So if you go through the problem again, and then you go back to like the 2-line answer, there's that thing. Now our answer is everything is in cosine x. So that's in cosine 5x. So again, I don't know, find something on TV tonight that, you know, what's on tonight? Let's see. And use some identities and see if your answer, if you match my answer, then I'm pretty sure that we got it right. And then try to reconcile that with what you're doing, okay? For that matter, here is another homework question for you. I've already shown you how to integrate secant. So the cosecant x, if the secant was worth $50, this is worth 50 cents. Okay, because the trick's already out there. You know, you do the same old thing that Plackmeyer thought was so clever. However, when you go and look up this integral, either in a table of integrals in the book, and that's what I'm trying to find right now, you're going to get something that you do not agree with. Let me see, where's the...
Professor,
Yes.
can you scroll up again? I'm sorry, I didn't get the last problem.
Okay, hold on. Anyways, I want you to do this one, okay? And then check the answer in the book. How far do you need to go?
Okay, up a little more. Okay, that's good. I just needed the lower part.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so try this one, okay? When you look up your answer in the book, it's, I'm going to tell you, let me see. Hold on. Let me write this down. This is what the table tells us, okay? The natural log of cosecant x minus cotangent of x. This is not what you will get, okay? So what I want you to do is do this problem and then try to use identities and stuff like that to make it match that answer, okay? All right, what was your question?
Don't we use the same method we use for sec?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. But what I'm saying is when you look your answer up in the table, your answer won't be there. Okay. You're going to have something different. Okay. So what I want you to do is to try to reconcile that. It's one thing to watch me do it and then you kind of half pay attention and then you don't pay attention. But if you're doing it, you're paying attention. Okay. All right. So that was our other style of thing. I might have to turn the light on. It's getting dark. Hold on. All right, so tons and tons of those integrals to do. And let's see, in the maybe some oddball problems here. I don't think I'm going to go into 7.3 today. And that's going to take me an hour just to set up. And my Zoom's already crashing. Let's try this one. For example, this is right out of the book. Dx over cosine x minus 1. Anybody want to venture a guess on how to do it? As soon as you see me do it, you're going to go, wow, okay. You know, but it's like seeing it that first time. Anybody?
Isn't it negative sign? You turn the bottom into a negative sign.
If it was cosine squared, but it's not cosine squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
Use U-Substitution.
Okay, what do you want to let U equal?
Cosine minus 1.
U equals what?
Cosine minus 1.
Cosine x minus 1. So du negative sine x dx. How are we going to do that one?
Wouldn't the 1 over u turn into like natural log u?
Maybe. But we're going to have to solve for dx. So the cosine of x is u minus 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that means that x is the cosine inverse of u minus 1.
Right.
Or we could say, we can try this. Du is negative sine, which is 1 minus cosine squared x dx. But we still don't quite have enough, right? Because, you know, we'd have
Your screen froze again. Oh, there.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before this all locks up, here's what I'm liking. I'm liking you guys are trying stuff. Okay, even and remember, last semester I was telling you this. You're gonna fail most of the time. This is your first attempt. This is our second attempt. You know, it might take you 5 attempts. All right, but that's all part of the process. You know, you're just gonna try this. Okay, so you ready? Here it is. Cosine x minus 1. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate. Right now you're going, okay. So anyway, so what I'm going to get is cosine x plus 1 divided by cosine squared x minus 1 dx. And that is the integral of cosine x plus 1 divided by negative sine squared x dx. Okay, so I got some stupid negative hanging around. Cosine x plus 1 over sine squared x dx. Okay, for you guys that were with me last semester, what do you think? What am I going to do? You've heard me say this 1,000 times. I
would say make u be equal to cosine x plus 1.
Hold on a second. I've got a fraction here, right?
Yeah.
What do I usually do with fractions?
You break them up into 2 separate.
I unadd the fraction. Okay. Now, if I unadd the fraction, this is going to be cosine x divided by sine squared x dx minus the integral of 1 over sine squared x dx. Okay, now this one is easy. If you let u be the sine of x, then du is going to be the cosine of x dx. And so I have negative the integral of u to the negative 2 power du minus the integral of cosecant squared x dx. So this is going to be 1 over u to the negative 1 over negative 1, getting rid of that. And then what has its derivative cosecant squared? What has its derivative cosecant squared?
Cot.
Cotangent, right? Okay, so the derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared. So this is going to be plus cotangent of x constant c. Now the U-substitution that I made here was, right, u was sine. So 1 over sine is going to be cosecant of x plus cotangent of x plus a constant c. Okay. Now, even though it's not in the book, at least the book I'm looking at, now that you know what to do, why don't you try this one on your own? You should get something similar to what I had. Okay. All right, a couple other little odds and ends. Some of you might be in computer and in electrical engineering. Okay, so if you are, in the exercise set in my book, it's these are numbers 65 through 67. This is the setup for what are called Fourier series. Okay. So in 65, the question is, he wants you to establish that this integral from negative pi to pi of the sine of mx times the cosine of nx dx is equal to 0. And then in 66, he wants you to verify from negative pi to pi sine of nx, or sine of m. Let me try to write it exactly the way it's in the book. Sine of mx sine of nx dx equals either 0 or pi. And this is if m doesn't equal n. This is if m equals n. And in 67, he wants you to do this one, negative pi to pi of both the cosines, cosine mx, cosine nx. Okay, now here you can use those, those 3 identities up there that in the box. Okay, I should remember that for next time. This is a 285 topic, by the way. Fourier series. If m doesn't equal n, if m equals n. Okay, so this is all set up for that. All right. So you got nothing else to do. Try those. Okay, so why is this first one 0? Number 65. Does anybody see it?
It's because we're going from negative to positive pi, so we're essentially canceling itself out.
So we're going on a symmetric interval, like negative a to a. This function f of x, which is sine of mx, cosine of nx, is an odd function because f of negative x is the same as negative f of x. And if f is odd, the integral from negative a to a of f of x dx is 0. Okay? Think about it like this. Like here's y equals x cubed. Okay? If we were to go from negative 1 to 1, all of this area is going to cancel. That's going to be negative. That's going to be positive. It's going to cancel itself out. Okay? All right, so similar type things going on in these other ones. And then in exercise number 68, he says, okay, now this is it. This is if you're, really trying to impress someone. So in exercise number 68, now keep in mind, guys, I wouldn't be wasting my time with this if it wasn't important. I know what's in your future. Fourier series is in a lot of your futures. So this function, which is a finite sum of these coefficients, a sub n times the sine of nx, this is called a finite Fourier series. The full-blown series goes out to infinity, okay? What he wants you to do, he wants you to show that a sub n can be found by 1 over pi integral negative pi to pi f of x times the sine of mx. Okay, now this problem might take you a couple of days to work through, It's not something that I'm going to spend any more time writing down and giving secrets away, because that's fine, but you need to kind of discover this yourself. I've said this so many times, math is a contact sport. You can't just sit there and listen and expect to be good at it. You're going to have to do some work on your own. Okay. All right. I think we got a lot accomplished here tonight. Let's go to here and stop broadcasting the screen. And there we go, back. There's everyone. So as far as roll went yesterday, I think I only had to drop one person. I added up to my 70, which is what Tara wanted me to do, and I was able to give my 2 ad codes to the top 2 guys on the list. Well, there was only 2 of them on the list. So anyways, they got them.
Nice.
And then she told me just to don't take any more, because then everybody is gonna get out of so-and-so's class and come into mine. I strongly encourage you guys, we're going to be together for 8 weeks here. Somehow organize some kind of a group study, maybe make a little website where you guys can put results, talk shit about me, say whatever. But, since we're not in you can't walk out of class and you guys have a half hour, hey, let's go do some integrals. It would really help if you, had some friends, if you're trying to learn this for the first time. I do realize that some of you already know this material. You had it back in your home country and they're making you take this again, and it sucks, but it'll be easy for you at least. Okay. So I'm having trouble loading documents onto the Canvas. Something has changed in the system since we ended in the spring. My wife's in Santa Barbara, and she's the one that knows how to do all this stuff. So I was going to try to, post, write down a bunch of hard integrals that I know can be done. and then just post it up there and have you guys, you know, toy with those things. But until I can figure out how to do that, I'm not going to be able to. Okay, so right now, focus on what?
Integral.
Integrals.
Integral. Maybe every now and then take a derivative to check your answer. But, you know, as soon as we get through section 7.4, that's it. There's no more new techniques. There's no, you know, we're not saving anything for Math 280. This is pretty much, and then a couple of tricks that, like the Weierstrass trick in 7.5, you know, pretty much everything known to the human race about integrals is all right here for us. Okay, so there is, you know, some value to not plugging it into Wolfram, or what are some other things that you can use? I don't know.
The identities that you showed us and you wrote on the thing, and they're in the book, right? What page are they on?
Okay, so they're in my book, and remember oh, you have the same edition?
Yeah.
Okay, so in my book, they're on page 487. Okay. And, you know, you can study them and make flashcards. I guarantee you, Eduardo, in 2 years, you're not going to remember this.
Well, same thing with the identities for the other when we were in trig. I have like this page in my brain that I constantly just keep adding, and I
have this
write them over and over
problem
and over again.
Like, I need to like own it, you know. I can't just like, I guess it's because of how I, you know, struggled. Like when I was in math analysis, we were doing trig, and I was learning trig while I'm trying to do trig, you know. And so in a way, it kind of helped me out a little bit just by the way that I go. Otherwise, that trig, I've never even taught trig. It looks like drinking the ocean, you know, all those stupid identities and stuff.
Yeah, but like what keeps messing me up when I do the integrals is not remembering like the simple identity, so that can just easily get me to the end, you know. That's what's tricking me out. But I guess they're not the same as the other ones that I already know. They're a little bit odd, you know.
The sine of A, cosine of B, those identities.
Yeah, they're not the same, kind of, because
what we have are in a pre-calc book, it's called product to sum to product, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when I'm doing pre-calc, like when we were doing those things, I don't know if you probably don't remember, it's been a year, but we were all together in pre-calc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying, you know, this is useful with a calculus-y type thing. And I would have put an integral in front of the sine A, cosine B, and I said, see, this is hard. And then if I put the sine in front of the 1/2, whatever, I would say this is easy because of the plus. Mm. And I would have said, you don't even need to know what this elongated S even stands for. Okay. So yeah, the trig identities are the trig identities. All right. So do I see secant to the 5th in here? Secant to the 5th is also a terrible. Oh, there. Okay. Number 31, tan to the 5th. Make sure you all do that one. And then there's 34, that tan squared secant one that we're kind of halfway finished with. And then he starts with the, you know, the different arguments and stuff. All right.
Professor, I had a question.
Yep.
So, how's the exam gonna look like? How many questions are we expected to do?
I was going to try to load up an example, and like I said, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Here was our chapter 2 exam from last semester. You see that?
Yeah.
I handwrite everything. It's just going to be one page, probably 12 questions. I'm not going to ask you to show any work or anything. I mean, that's just ludicrous in this environment. Some of my colleagues have they're just trying so hard. You know, I'm gonna catch this guy. I know he's cheating. Dude, like
Oh, they're awesome.
this is why you're aging so poorly. You know, you cannot stop this. You can only try to, you know, use it to your advantage. Maybe, you know, if they're going to be digging this up, how about try to get them to dig that up, you know, or something. Anyway, so tomorrow we will continue in 7.3. I'm going to take a 10-minute break right now. I'm not going to lecture anymore, but I'll keep the classroom open if you guys have questions, or maybe you want to try an interval or two.
Hey,
Okay?
Bobby.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. One, I saw you at 24 today, but I was like outside driving. But you said you went back to Planet Fitness, right?
Yeah. So I went. Planet Fitness opened first.
Yeah. How is it?
And
I haven't passed there and I haven't tried it yet. I'm curious if it's.
It's
cool.
really it's they're not doing anything. I mean.
So you can just go in like normal?
Yeah, I can go over there right now. I just walk over there. You know, you have to have a face mask on if you're in the lobby.
Oh,
But
okay.
the workout room, you don't have to.
Man, it's so weird. So you gotta, their lobby's like not even 10, 15 feet. Like you just have to walk in, scan, and then you can take the face mask off.
To tell you the truth, I didn't even put the face mask on. I
Cool.
had it in my pocket.
Okay. Cool. I didn't
You know?
want to go to the gym to have to like suffer trying to breathe. Otherwise, I'll just.
And the staff, they walk around and they're constantly cleaning stuff. What happens at 24 hours is they give you an hour and then they kick everybody out, clean the club.
That blows.
Yeah, so I went in at 11 and then they kick us all out at 12.
So dumb, man.
And then the next appointments are at 12:30. And then 2 o'clock is reserved for seniors. I've got enough gray hair. I might be able to not have to show my ID. I'm 51. Yeah, and tonight I want to go over to the Planet Fitness that's over by the blimp hangars.
Oh, in Tustin?
Yeah, in that Tustin Ranch area, whatever.
Are they open yet? Yeah, it's district.
Yeah, I've heard it. That's the funny one because that's the gym where, you know, people go outside and have a smoke and come back in. They're all working out in their jeans. And yeah, so that's what it was like in Arizona when I worked out at Planet Fitness.
Oh, okay. What were you doing over there, man?
My friend, he and his wife have a place out there that's right near Loft, right in the casinos and stuff. And they've got a boat, and we would go out and play golf. And then I've gotten myself addicted. Today was my 70th day in a row lifting weights.
Oh, I thought you said playing golf. I'm like, golf's cool.
No, I'm golfing out there, but I tell them, like, I have to have a gym. Like, otherwise I'm going to start. I have this exercise-induced issue where, I don't know, it's not healthy working out as much as I do, but feels good while I'm doing it. So anyway. And then let's see, Planet Fitness closes. It's not 24 hours anymore. Saturday, Sunday, they close at 7. I think during the week they close at 10 or 11. That's the one in I forget what I was saying. Let's look at the chat here. Anybody ever get some good stuff? Okay.
Everybody's just trying to get the book and stuff, but we got it taken care of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You should already have the book.
Yeah, actually, I didn't download it last time. I got it this time though. I had the pre-calc book. It's the same book, right?
Stewart?
The Calc 1 and Calc 2 book, not the pre-calc.
Oh yeah, it's the same exact book.
Yeah.
We're all using it. Stewart came out with a new edition. Whatever Mariana says, I go, yeah, okay. But you know, I
would just download the PDF because, I mean, honestly, you could just have it on your phone. And when you have time, let's say you're waiting at a doctor's appointment or something like that, look through it. Look through the examples. Look through the proofs on it.
Yeah. This class, there really isn't a lot of proving. I mean, I'm going to have to prove some things in order to, establish some results, but I'm not going to be asking you to prove anything. This isn't math. The 182H is our class that we do that in. Math majors, it's a good class for math majors.
I just wish they. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. What?
I was just curious. Do you know if the counseling's open though? Because like for non-math majors like myself, I'm curious how many more math classes I need before they say I'm done.
Yes, counseling is open. We were talking about that this morning in the Math 30 class, and they actually had nice things to say. Like their counseling appointments went great. They're all, online. But you know the deal. Don't trust our counselors, Yeah,
it's just
they might have forgotten. I live with a counselor.
Oh, your wife is counseling?
And she's the chair at Santa Ana.
Okay.
And so I hear her in her chair meetings with, so-and-so did it again. When are they going to realize that their stuff got switched 3 years ago? All of these agreements that we have with these schools of what transfers and what doesn't, every so often they get changed. And if you've got some 64-year-old counselor who's just counting the days until retirement, they're just going to probably give you the quickest answer. It's always good to know how to
Professor, you're
look that
kind of
stuff
right.
up.
I would check assist.org.
Assist.org, that's what everybody uses.
Honestly, even if you're not a STEM student, you're taking math.
Yeah,
But,
STEM. But.
I'd look into seeing one of those counselors and just maybe even seeing multiple ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm probably
when
just going to
you've
talk
got
to
a
UCI when I stop being lazy, because it's like that's the
Sorry.
only way I plan on going. So.
UCI reps haven't been that helpful, at least for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think going online made them a bit lazy, maybe, and they're just giving general information to everyone. I don't know.
You're going to transfer to UCI, Brian?
I mean, I don't want to move, dude. Like, I live right by Vanguard, and my options are drive to Cal State Long Beach, which has a terrible computer science program. And that's where I got my undergrad from.
How about Vanguard?
I don't want to pay all the money for a private school. I'm already like annoyed that I'm gonna probably have to spend $50,000 getting this master's, man. Like,
dude, don't go to Vanguard, because my sister went there. She said it was shit from the start.
I'm not gonna go to Vanguard. I mean,
it's not worth it. Rip off. Plus, there's
a bunch of my son's friends went there just because they just transitioned onto the Vanguard baseball team. A lot of those Costa Mesa guys, did that. But anyways, I was telling you about UCI. I'll go to Ralph's tonight. One of my old students, Cam, he's been through 285 with me.
Yeah.
He worked at Ralph's the whole time, and now he's transferring to UCI. He's already been accepted. They hadn't sent him anything on how to register for classes, and so that's the last I heard a couple weeks ago. So I'll try to get an update.
They haven't sent out any waitlist notifications either, so everyone's still waiting.
Santa Barbara, that's where one of my nieces is. They're doing hybrid stuff.
Yeah,
they want everybody back, because if you don't, the whole community will go to shit if all the students aren't there to go to the coffee shops and.
Oh yeah, man! A lot of these places are built off of students. Like I think about the UCI. They have like 2 shopping centers near them. I bet all those businesses are just getting. I mean, I go to the Trader Joe's over there because no one's there. It's great.
Yeah.
Empty as Trader Joe's. But yeah, man, I just don't really want to move. That UCI has a good computer science program, and it's like, hey, this is kind of a backup for me anyways. Like I already have a degree. If I can't get a good job in programming, which I probably can't, because even though I've done a lot of apps and stuff, you have to have a degree nowadays. Another in that specific field. So yeah, I'm just kind of like doing the easiest non-moving degree I can, which is near me in UCI, and cheapest.
And what's the degree?
I'd like to get a master's in software engineering. So like I was talking to the head of the department at OCC and she's like, hey, you're too old because I'm 32 now. And this was when I was 30. So like if you get a second bachelor's, they're going to not want to take you because it's entry level pay and they're just going to think you're not worth it. The master's, maybe you can move into like a low level management position. So that's kind of what the game plan is like, hey, if I can't get a job before then, which is kind of what I'm doing all the time, just applying for software positions, then work on the master.
I remember my junior year, I had to take this real early in the morning, a math course, it's Math 314, and like an analysis course. And it had these older guys in there that were in their suits and stuff. And they were working on a master's in mathematics. And
yeah,
they had their bachelor's in something else. And so they had to take a bunch of, Andy had to do this. Andy Coinis, his bachelor's degree is in economics. So when he went to UC Irvine, he had to like take some get ready for it stuff. But anyway, so what I was going to tell you was these guys, you start talking to them and they'd say, man, the advice I give you, take as much statistics as you possibly can because it's a statistical world out there. So for your electives, you know, you might want to take mathematical statistics, which is like the real, like Math 160 is watered down. It's for Math 30 people. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mathematical statistics involves integrating Math 280 material, like multivariable stuff. That's the real mathematical statistics. And that's pretty much the prereq for anything else. So if you wanted to study, you know, like queuing theory or something like what's been hot right now. I've been thinking about asking Eric Bender if I could do a PhD under him. Like
Bender. That name sounds super familiar.
He's our geology guy.
Oh, okay. I think I might have taken him like literally 10 years ago when I got.
Well, he's still heavily connected with USC.
Okay.
And I have some ideas about a problem, like applying some probability and statistics to some of the stuff that he works with. Kind of like, you know, what's the probability that these two, like this is like an earthquake fault. What's the probability it's going to go this way as opposed to come this way, or, you know, whatever. And so I've been kind of digging around the internet, looking at that stuff, thinking that might be something I could do. I always wanted to finish my PhD and I never did. I
mean, you could, man. I mean, for me, it's just, I need to do it because my bachelor's was in art, communication studies. So it's like everybody, your jobs are sales, and like I already kind of run a small contracting thing that's that, and it's like whatever, you know. I mean, I'm never going to be able to stay in Orange County if I don't.
My niece,
super
our oldest niece who just graduated from Fullerton, she's like really frustrated with the job market. But I remember when I graduated from Cal Poly and I get straight to UC Irvine, that next year, my friend Eric, he had to do another year, and he graduated with his degree in finance. And his first job was working the desk from 11 in the night till 7 in the morning at those hotels by the airport, you know. Sometimes you just have to, that's what I was going to tell her that today if she came over to work out, but not to get too, you know, frustrated.
No, I mean, this is a really bad, like horrible, potentially worst time on earth to try to get into the job market. I still think there's a lot of jobs that people aren't. And here's the thing, if there's like, I don't know who's in this thread who even cares about this job, but if there are people who like just want to work and don't care about anything, go to trade school, become an electrician, become a plumber, become a whatever. If like that's your goal, is to have a semi easy life. I like making stuff. So
I have two friends that literally did one and the other. One of them did electrician. She makes bank being an electrician. The other one, I mean, they live in the Gulf near my house, and the other one is a plumber. And God, man, he saved my ass a few times.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job right now. I think
crazy.
it's even like, it's not, you know, it's not even 100,000 a year or whatever, but it's probably like what, 75, 80,000. You can do the trade school in a year or two. But I mean, for me, it's like I already have a job that pays my living. Like I wanted to do something that I actually want to do with my life. And the very few creative jobs left that pay money are like computer science, truthfully. And I just see with AI and development going on, neural links, all the other stuff, it's like I'll either get replaced sooner or later, or I can try to figure out a way to get on that boat with the remaining people.
My wife's trying to do the masters that she already got approved to get in. She starts
Oh,
in
nice.
fall.
She's farther ahead than I am.
Yeah. And then before that, she finished our boot camp.
Okay.
She signed up for. And straight after that, she spent maybe a year applying for jobs, entry-level jobs. Spent a whole year just applying for these things. And she finally, this last fall, while we were still doing our class, she got her job in I think March, no, around September or August, like somewhere around there. And you have to constantly like you have to get a job right after this. You have to be not only taking the class, but also be like socializing with these other people. You know, trying to get jobs, building up your portfolio for programming. Because if you don't have a built-up portfolio with working things on your portfolio that people can click on and see how they do and the linking, you know.
That's kind of like, that's what I spend a lot of my free time, like, you know, I mean, in lieu of sadly probably doing homework like I should. That's what I do. A lot of my stuff is trying to build applications and build more and more and more things. So at some point when I get to this end of the road, it's like, oh, hey, look at my stupid GitHub, you know, and then it's like, oh, wow, tons and tons of stuff. But anyways, that's one of the things we were talking about, if you remember, Eduardo, with Bobby on the USC thing. Like that's one of the reasons why they have these private schools, is they need to let people socialize, because that's why you go to USC, man. That's why everybody I know went to USC has some killer job, because somebody's parent owned some company somewhere or had some great idea. It's like, whoa, you know, I don't know any USC grads who are like waiting tables or anything.
This is why my son changed his major. When he's up there majoring in math, and all of his buddies are going, you can go get a master's degree, fucking Cal State Fullerton. You go here, you do business, you make connections. And I'm like,
that's the call. I mean, I would go to USC if I wasn't so afraid of debt. I've had no debt yet, and it's like I'm gonna have to go into some for UCI, and I'm getting older and older and older, and I'm gonna have to get into debt at some point. But I'm not a debt-driven person. I don't like debt. So
maybe the New Hampshire University is for you. Have you seen those commercials?
No, are they doing free school or something? I don't know what these things are.
What does it say? Talent. What is the president? He says talent is spread out equally, but opportunity isn't, or something.
Yeah, that's their motto.
I tried getting into Yale years and years and years ago, because they're free. If you get in, there's like, they only accept, I forgot how many musicians, but they only accept a handful, and it's just free tuition if you can get in. That's like, nice. There are some schools that are like dope like that, but I don't care enough to try to do any of that stuff anymore. Like, I just want to build applications, and hopefully that will be enough with a degree.
I had a friend that got into Yale only because she knew how to play the piano, and she became a tutor, worked there, and then they gave her free tuition because she was a tutor on campus. So finding people to do things and having something that's credible, I guess, to get into Yale is one way. I know my wife was smart enough to try and get into what was the other one? Harvard? Not Harvard. Princeton. She tried to get into Princeton, and she screwed up her second interview somehow. She told me how she do it, but I'm not allowed to tell people how she screwed that one up.
She farted?
No. She they have this ridiculous thing where they ask you what pop or historical figure would you I'm not even supposed to say this, but she's not home, so I don't care. Historical figure or pop that you would look up to, and why would you look up to him? And she said SpongeBob. But she didn't know how to. he didn't know how to spin that. I swear, like you could have spun it this way. You could have said he's open-hearted, he's kind-hearted, he's out there, he never gives up, he's a hard worker. You know, yes, he's an animated cartoon figure, but he implies what a normal person should strive for, right? And spun it that way. She couldn't do it. She giggled and lost it and was blank-faced in her interview.
Hey, one last question. I'm going to bounce in a second. But hey, Bobby, is your son, is he able to go back to school? And sorry, Eduardo, I was listening. I didn't.
Our oldest one?
No, the one who was going to USC. You mentioned like he was thinking about taking a break, but I heard that a lot of the private schools are reopening because they were a little bit concerned about losing money.
We think that everything is going to be this hybrid stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, just even right now, the UC information is just trickling in. Even our own information. I mean, there's a bunch of you guys that have unfinished labs from last semester that need to be complete. I mean, you personally, but like you students. I think USC is going to be online. The thing is the more of these tests that China ships over, the more, you know, you guys know that the common cold is a coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually called Mason in Ireland today, that radio show on ESPN radio. And I actually got through, and I was talking to Steve and John, and I said, you know, OCC, our football team, is supposed to start on the 6th, and that's the schedule of football. I was saying how this goes is going to pretty much dictate anything else, because, you know, we don't have the resources to test players every single day. So I don't know. But as far as USC, I just heard a report about they're going to start camp pretty soon, something, I don't know. But then LSU had 20 people test positive yesterday. So
that doesn't sound like a lot of people though, when you have the grand scheme of a really contagious disease, and you've got
20
a lot
people
of people.
20 people on the one football team. And then there was number one tennis player, what's that guy's name? Dvorak? World number one ranked guy. Anyways, he's got it. But anyway. So you gonna make your appointment for 24 hours tomorrow?
We were all in our class, and everybody in our class that semester, at the beginning of our semester, we were all dying in February. I don't know if you guys remember that. Everybody in our class was like somewhat sick. I showed up completely feel like I was dying, wrapped around with my scarf around my face.
Is that the beginning of the semester?
Yeah, that was the beginning of the semester. Even you got it I think 2 to 3 days after we all were in class.
Yeah, Tyler came home from SC sick and spread it around. Avery got it pretty bad. My wife got it. When my wife gets sick, it's terrible. When I get sick, I just drink some beer and ignore it. But anyway, all right, let's end this thing tonight. And
see you guys.
See you guys tomorrow. Same time. You stay classy, San Diego.